faster than they do. I was looking at him like, seriously? How's that work out for us? And then the last thing that happened in 1913, which is just outrageous, we all assume that it's always been 435 members of the House of Representatives, right? No, Reapportionment Act of 1913. It used to go up every 10 years based on an increase in population. Founders argued between 30 and 50,000 people per district was the maximum that one human being could actually represent and reflect. Today, the average district has over 700,000 people in it, and the biggest have over 900,000 people in it. So we have a representative government, right? No. Not really. Not anymore. They broke the balance. So I would propose, it's real simple majority vote. We repeal the Reapportionment Act of 1913. Now, a lot of people will say, well, but Mark, what happens then? We would have actually roughly 4,000 members of the House of Representatives. That sounds unwieldy. It sounds difficult. Sounds like it would be hard for them to pass legislation, doesn't it? That's a bad thing. In New Hampshire, they have over 1,000 state representatives. Wow. It's a little tiny state. Works pretty well. New Hampshire is consistently rated among the top 3 or 4 most free states in the United States of America. It works okay for them. They actually run into members, their representatives at the grocery store, at church, at community centers like that. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, there's another physical problem. How are you going to keep them all in Washington, D.C.? Where will they meet? I mean, what? They can't all be there all the time. That doesn't sound so bad, does it? Right? So the reality is, the only reason they have to be in Washington, D.C. to vote is based on a simple House rule. In fact, John Boehner could bring up a vote to remove the rule that they have to be on the House floor to vote. He could do it tomorrow. They could vote from home. We have the security. We have the technology today. They could vote from home. What I propose in the book is a virtual Congress where your congressman is home in your district the vast majority of time and only goes to hang out and have fancy dinner with the lobbyists in Washington, D.C. once in a while. What do you guys think of that? Okay, so there are solutions. The book lays out a 40-year plan for restoring America to its founding principles. It's just a start. It came from, most of those ideas that I just said came from the grassroots. They didn't come from me. But there has to be a why. Why do we keep fighting for this idea of liberty? I can tell you what inspires me. What inspires me is you. All the people who are fighting that I meet all across the country. They're all different kinds of people. I meet kids, like my son Jacob, who's 16 years old, who's fighting for liberty. I mean, little ones out on the street that understand the Constitution better than folks in D.C. People of all races, all genders, all occupations, all across the country. My favorite part is thanking them for what they're doing. We have a lot of donors in the Tea Party movement, and I go through our donor list as often as I can and try and call people that stand out. And I was looking through the list recently, and I saw this name, this woman Alice. She's from Dallas, Texas. She was giving regularly, month after month, and in extraordinary amounts. $1,000 check, $750, $2,500. And so I picked up the phone and I gave her a call. I love calling people like this because a lot of times they, if they're folks on the right, they've seen me on Fox News, they don't expect to get a call like that. So I called her, and what I got answering on the other end was an assisted care facility in Dallas, Texas, which was surprising. She's so engaged, and I guess, I don't know why, I just didn't expect that. It took about 5 minutes for her to get to the phone, and I'm picturing probably what you would picture, that she's having trouble getting to the phone. It was in fact the case. And she got to the phone and got on the phone. I told her who I was, and she was very excited. She said, "Oh, Mark, I just saw you on Fox News last night. I can't believe you're calling." And, that always just seems weird to me. And I said to her, "Look, Alice, you're the hero. I mean, you're writing checks every month. Tell me your story. What are you doing?" So we chatted a little bit, and I said, "I'm going to be in Dallas really soon. I would love to come take you out to lunch." And this is probably early last year. And she said, "Oh, Mark, you don't want to date me. I'm going to be 100 years old in July." I said, "Alice, my wife wouldn't let me date you even if I wanted to. But I am coming to Dallas, and I would like to take you out." And so I got together with her and her son, who was 73 years old, Derek. We went out to dinner, and we're talking politics. And this woman is she's got it dialed in. She's reading the paper, she's watching the news, she knows what's going on, she's totally engaged and active. And our son starts marching her through the candidates for president. This time we still have the slate of candidates on the Republican side, the full slate. She says, Mom, tell Mark about Michelle Bachman. What do you think about Michelle Bachman? And she tells me, and Mark, what do you tell Mark what you think about Tim Pawlenty? And she rolls through it. And man, I mean, she knows their policy position, she knows their history, she knows it better than I do, and she's 100 years old. So she's telling me all this stuff, and we get to Herman Cain. Herman's a friend of mine. I've spent a lot of time with him, great man. And so I'm just dying to hear what she has to say about Herman. And he says, tell Mark about Herman Cain. She says, who? She said, Herman Cain. Who? She says, you know, the black guy who's running for president. And she says, ooh, do you think we're ready for a black man? Her son is horrified. And he looks at me, and he looks at her, and he has no idea what to say. And he says, Mom, Barack Obama is our president now. And she says, I know, I was just pulling his leg. I tell you that story because she's 100 years old, and she's still fighting. She's still engaged. She's still committed to the idea of liberty. So when you know, like I know, that there are people like Alice out there that are still fighting for the idea of liberty at 100 years of age, you know that the rest of us can never give up, right? Thank you guys for having me.